In March 2020, Sri Lanka, along with the rest of the world, faced a pandemic unlike any other. Travel, tourism, manufacturing, global corporations and small businesses everywhere are shutting down operations in these unprecedented times. Experts say it is too soon to tell the economic impact of this virus, but the damage has been done. We are living it. It surrounds us. But is it the end for us and our livelihoods? We say no. It is time to find a new opportunity in our new normal. We call on all future and current business owners who are navigating the new COVID-19 landscape. This is for you. If you have had an idea, a thought, a want or a need to have your own business, or better, your current one, BConnected presents Surviving the Times, a live, insightful and encouraging webinar where you will be inspired by leading investors, engage with experts and build your community. Let us help you build a better future.
And a warm welcome to all of you to our webinar on Surviving the Times. BConnected is indeed pleased to be the initiator and host of this webinar, which was prompted as a result of COVID-19 and its impending impact on our lives, many lives. During this lockdown period, our team brainstormed on how we could help and reach out to the many who were losing their full-time jobs, because we are a recruitment agency, as well as those who may be struggling in surviving in their livelihoods in businesses. As a result of this, being an entrepreneur myself, who started almost 23 years ago with hardly any capital, I felt, why can't we give a start to those who are struggling right now? And we were so blessed that we were able to connect with the right resource people, with Mr. Chandula Abevikrama and with Eventistry, who have ably supported in many ways in giving of their time and their talents in bringing this webinar, a series of webinars to you that will impact your lives. Please stay connected and you will see how much more is in store for you. Good luck and the very best to all of you from Team BConnected.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our first session of BConnected's webinar, Surviving the Times, Insights into Starting Your Own Home Business. On behalf of BConnected, Eventistry, and the Lanka Impact Investing Network, we are delighted to have you with us and really appreciate the time that you have taken to register, and especially during what's clearly a really challenging period for lots of us. In 2017, Times Magazine, it ran a feature article, warning, the world is not ready for another pandemic. Cut to 2020 and over 400,000 deaths later, this is a pandemic. And we should have seen it coming, but really we should have been ready for it. As in Sri Lanka and across the world, come March, we faced a first. And it was something that none of us had ever witnessed. The virus, it affected how we do business, how we trade, how we work, how we produce goods, how we seek medical services, and also how we entertained ourselves. It made us look at life as we know it and then flip it on its head. The virus, it cost us hundreds of millions of jobs. Globally, unemployment rates they're not looking positive. I mean, this is inclusive of the G7 countries. Sri Lanka's unemployment rate surged 4.8%, and it made us the third most ranked in the South Asian unemployment rate. I mean, did we even know that we have over 400,000 people between the ages of 15 and 24 that are unemployed since last year? And if we look at the industries that are affected, I mean, this is pretty much the same across the world. It's the tourism industry, it's the apparel industry, it's it's construction, it's retail, it's banking, it's export. So yeah, it's been a rough couple of months for us, but you know what? We are here to inspire you to not just survive the current crisis, but to use it to better your life and to increase your chances for future success. And with that, I tell you, never let a serious crisis go to waste. What I mean by that is it's an opportunity to do things that maybe you thought you couldn't do before. So let's change your life into something that's today. With that being said, let us look as to why we are here and why you registered. We are here to discuss starting your own home business, or maybe it is to grow the business that you have right now. We believe that you are making the first step to greatness by just being here. Globally, 12% of startups have seen their revenues increase by 10% or more since the beginning of this crisis. And about 1 out of every 10 of those startups are in industries that are actually growing. So yes, choosing which industry your idea and your business is going to fall into is key. I mean, if you look at the stats, over half of Fortune 500 companies started during a contraction. And this virus has seen angel and seed deals tick upwards approximately 34%. So aren't we glad that Chandula, our speaker today, is also one of Sri Lanka's top incubators, impact investors, and the founder of Uppower, a Sri Lankan reality show where entrepreneurs, just like yourselves today, pitch their idea to Chandula and a panel of other investors in the hope of winning investment. So that's just fantastic. And one more figure I personally find very interesting is the rise in global startups with a female founder. We have a total of 231 million women who have started or are running successful businesses today. So not only will the expected number of entrepreneurs rise after this pandemic, we are going to see some very, very powerful women take control. And I, for one, can't wait to see some of the women in our audience today take control. So you are ready to take the leap to make your idea into something concrete. Or you have taken the leap, you've started your business, and now you want to navigate this new normal, this post-COVID-19 landscape that we've all been thrust into. This is your time. Today, in the caring hands of Chandula, we are going to learn how to identify new markets, new opportunities within those markets, how we identify our own skills, how we assess them, but more importantly, how we develop the idea and then put it into an actionable plan. My name is Karen Wijeratna, and I am one of the founders and directors of Eventistry, and we'll be moderating today's session. And with me today is our esteemed speaker, Chandula Abe Wikrama. Not only is he an expert commercial banker, he co-founded Uppower, like I mentioned before, and he has founded Lanka Impact Investing Network, the pioneer of setting up the first social impact fund in Sri Lanka in partnership with the UNDP and CAL. So, as everyone here today is on mute and will stay that way during this session, we absolutely welcome all questions throughout any section you feel. We will be addressing all these questions throughout the event, so please don't wait. Send the questions in as you think about them. The panel for sending questions, as you'll see on your screen, is to your right, and it comes directly to me and Chandula. Finally, we will also be sending the session to you a couple of days later, so please feel free to share this with all your networks and your friends. So let's get going. Before I hand it over to Chandula, I think there's an important topic we need to get clarified. So I know that this is something that I asked myself when we were starting Eventistry. I know it's a question that I've got from a lot of friends, and also whilst reading about how to start up a business. It seemed an important a differentiation to note. So Chandala, please give us just a little bit of insight into the difference of having an idea and being called an entrepreneur to someone who is self-employed. I mean, I think this also for the audience will help categorize themselves before anything.
Thank you very much, Karin. Good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very much delighted to this BConnected hosted this timely webinar. This is not just a webinar. I would say this is a webinar with an opportunity for partnership and linkages. And that's where you become vital and important. There's an opportunity for you to really blossom your idea into something more different and generate something for what you aim for. Just to enlighten you all, compared to what is a self-employment role and the entrepreneur is two different, drastically opposed to each other roles. Self-employment is some people who are called, they are not employed by anybody, but they are self-employed. They have certain skills, their abilities, and based on that, they work on a short-term gaining, short-term income generation initiatives, sometimes on a daily basis. Once they are covered their income, then they just stop that. But the role of entrepreneur is totally different to that. Role of entrepreneur or a businessman is a journey. I would compare these two roles to the 100-meter sprinter versus marathon. So probably a self-employment guy who want to quickly make a fast something for the day or for the week or for the month, and then beyond that he doesn't have any ambition. But whereas the entrepreneur has a long journey, and in that journey he need to have the courage of his convictions, he need to have the determination, he need to have the stamina, and he need to have the strength to go on a long journey. In a long journey, that you have so much of things to go for. In this journey, you have in your path a difficult terrain to walk or go. Sometimes you may have to cross the bridges. Sometimes you may have to climb the mountains. Like that, there are challenges and difficulties that would come in a path of an entrepreneur. There are also what I would say, the stages and ages and the pages of an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur have different stages. And based on the stages, you move to different ages, and then you begin to turn the pages. You start, you begin to have the birth of your enterprise, then you crawl, then you begin to walk, then you begin to run, then you fly. And that's the way that you kind of design your journey as an entrepreneur. And in that journey, you take so much of risk. The risk and opportunities come together. You have opportunities, and in order to harness that opportunities, you have to take certain risks. In fact, if you have skills, if you are employed somewhere, you need to really leave your job and start that. For instance, look at the risk Steve Jobs and Bill Gates did. They kind of denounced their career, halfway mark, they came out of their universities, started their business in the garages. So that's right, something when you have that kind of thing, you have to do, when you see the opportunity, you have to take the risk. And that's the way the entrepreneur's journey is mapped.
Thank you, Chandala. I think, I mean, I completely agree with you. Rome wasn't built in a day, was it? So it's everyone's trials and tribulations, I think, going through the start of a business. So I completely agree with you. Okay, so I think when you think about, now that we know the difference and we also know the journey that someone takes, I think for someone who is, I think even personally, when we look at it in the office, it's called a dime a minute idea. You know, we have constant ideas, but how do you, and then when you say that, we say generating ideas comes in very easy, you know, how do you change? Because I know personally that the idea generation is the easy side of things. But in comparison to the actual implementation and the management of it, you know, one of the common, or rather the biggest backlog to implementation would be the element of fear. You know, will it work? What if my idea fails? What if it isn't profitable? Chandana, could you just maybe tell us what would be the right formula to achieve that implementation? And if there is one to, you know, the sustainability, how do you achieve that and overcome the fear?
So what happens is the idea itself will not make you a businessman or entrepreneur. There are plenty of people have new ideas, new innovative things. Now in Sri Lanka globally, there are hundreds and thousands of people who have patents. In Sri Lanka, there are about at least 1,000 people have patents. But none of those patents have become business solutions or entrepreneur, those people who own those patents. So the idea itself will not make you an entrepreneur. What happens is, idea is one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is when a person, first of all, need to understand what is the solution or what is the social or the consumer need that he is going to resolve, or his product is going to meet that need. First of all, you need to understand what would be the social or the society's problem or the need that his product or his idea is going to resolve. And once you know that there's a need in the society, whether it's in whatever the area, whether it's in the clothing, whether it's in the food, whether it's in the education, whatever the area, there's a specific need you identify in the society. And based on that, then you come with a solution or idea, innovation, or some creativity of yourself. And once that idea is generated, then that idea needs to be matched to the requirement of the society, what they are demanding. Then when you are matching that, first of all, the idea itself will not have feet to walk. You need to make sure that your idea has the substance to walk or the strength to walk. That is because you need to make sure that idea itself is a very limited strength. So how do you get your idea to walk? First of all, you need to make sure there is the commercial viability for your idea. To make sure that the commercial viability means, because entrepreneur is a person who will create an initiative to make income or revenue generation or bottom line or make a profit through his innovation, through his solution. So he makes a value for it and earn a revenue for that. So what happens is there has to be a commercial viability for that idea. Then the next is not only commercial viability, the product has to have definitely meet the needs of that particular customer group or the society, or the solve the need, the solution, solve the particular need. And then there what I call the business sustainability and scalability. There has to be a sustainability of that business, and that business has to have a scale to reach the numbers. If you are only really going to give this product to a few people around your neighborhood, there is no sustainability for that business. But if you can reach beyond hundreds to thousands and 10,000s, then hundreds of thousands, there's a scalability opportunity for your products. So in the process of reaching the scalability, you need to continuously innovate, continuously come up with product differentiation. And that's where your idea continuously be involved in that. Your innovation continue to be involved in that. So that's why, so first of all, the commercial viability for your idea, business sustainability and scalability has to be very vital. And when those things are done, then only you are going to resolve a problem that is there in the society, or need that is there in the society, a demand that is there in the society. And your product or your service will go into fill that vacuum, create that product, and where the people will see there's a value for this idea, this solution, and then I'm going to buy for it. And that's the point that your idea become a commercial viability.
Keep muting myself. So yes, I agree. I think that makes total sense. Okay, let me ask you a different thing now. Now we've been talking about entrepreneurs, which are people that are starting out. Now, what if we look at businesses that have already established themselves, or we're looking also at an audience that have started the business, they're now looking to grow. So I asked this question in two parts. So one, could you first tell us an established business can expand and the risks that come in with that level of growth? And there's a second part, but I don't know whether you want me to ask the second as well, or let you finish answering this.
Yeah, I'll answer the first one, what you mentioned just now. So
okay.
What happens is the business expansion again depends on the market. It's you need to fathom the market properly, or the society, or the consumers, or the people who are going to buy your product and service. You see the potential for your product or service depends on the growth of the marketplace, or the growth of the society, or the consumers. Now, you need to properly fathom that. And then the expansion has to be designed based on, because the consumer need or the needs of the society continuously varies and changes, evolve. There are demand, there are needs and wants of the consumer or the society continuously change. And that is why you need to be very closely monitor that. You need to fathom continuously what the society needs and the society wants, and how those things are. The marketplace has to be properly assessed continuously. That is the first thing. Then the second thing is your own capabilities to deliver that horizontally and vertically. What I say, the horizontally means geographically. Now, if you're first of all giving to a group of people, selling your product to a group of people in your lane or in your street, and then you have to expand into your small village and to your town, and then to your region, your province, and then by and large to your country, and then you go beyond the country. So just a horizontal expansion of the same product, what you have. If you have a particular product and if there is a big demand, then you extend it based on the consumer satisfaction. Then the other thing is also there is different needs of the society time to time. And based on that, you make a product differentiation. You need to continuously innovate your product. Whether it's a food product, whether it's a clothing, whether it's lifestyle, anything, or it is entertainment, you need to continuously, because as I said, you need to continuously assess and fathom the market and the consumer needs. And therefore, you need to continuously do a product differentiation to a different segments, the youth, the women, the senior citizens, the adult, and different kinds of segments of the society, rural community, urban community, and all these kind of segments are there. Based on the segments, you need to differentiate the product and thereby expand it to that. So the product expansion has to be by virtue of the nature of the product differentiation. That's why you call vertical. You design the products at various features, at various values, and then you try to reach it to the different segments. Then you give the same product to a different geographies. Your limited geography, and then expand the geography, and then if possibly go to the whole country, and then go beyond the country into the external international market. So that's the way that you would expand. But all your expansion depends on your proper assessment of the market continuously. And as I said very clearly, the consumer demands and the consumer challenges, consumer problems are continuously evolving. They are changing continuously. Everything is changing today. Now, particularly after COVID-19, there are so many new opportunities. So that's why new demands of new opportunities. So you need to really see a person who has not only two eyes around you all the time. See properly, hear properly, understand properly, and then when you fathom it, then you see that there is an opportunity here. And then you need to see whether you have the skills or the talents or the capabilities. And if you don't have, you need to really also create partnerships and collaborations to expand the market in that way.
I think, Chandala, you actually answered my second, because it really was to, I think we speak about the growth on a vertical scale, we speak about growth on a horizontal scale, but sometimes we don't realize, how important it is to have the right capabilities and the capacity to manage and control such growth. I think some people, it grows, and then, you've got to actually manage that as well. I think that is very important. Okay, so I think I think you pretty much summed that one up for me, and I think it makes perfect sense.
One point
okay.
I mention also there, sometimes for the expansion of our business, if you are trying to do it by yourself, you might not be able to expand to the way that you envisage, you plan. So that's where you need to look at number of other possibility of partnerships and collaborations. Sometimes when you start a small business, it's difficult for you to expand unless you partner with somebody like-minded who can really take you to a different level. So that's where I would say distribution networks, the dealerships, and somebody who can distribute it for you, somebody who can take it to a different market. So that's why sometimes if you cannot do it by yourself, you cannot have a distribution network, but somebody else have a distribution network, then you partner with that person, then you begin to expand. So that's why on the business expansion, it's very vital for us to look at like-minded partnership and collaborators.
Yeah. Okay, Chandala, then you actually brought this up, which is great, because this actually leads me into another question I have for you. So this new normal, this post-COVID-19 landscape, it's different for everyone. It's it's a new territory for us to discover and navigate. Now this virus, it hit everything. It hit the global economies. It also puts startups today in an ultimatum. Personally, do I do everything on my own, or am I better off collaborating with support services, businesses? So I think one is for you to tell us and the audience, if the future of today's entrepreneurs and businesses is partnerships and collaborations. And also on another role, what would you say are the functions of marketing, communication, and the delivery of a successful job play in this new normal? If we even look at it in the importance of having, the right payment portal to get the revenue stream coming in that's, smooth and effective for the whole company.
Yeah, so as I said very clearly, again, I want to also tell the listeners or the people who are watching this program that in this webinar, we are offering certain opportunity for linkages and partnerships for all the people who are keen to become an entrepreneur or businessman. That's why I said this is a webinar with partnership and linkages. We are willing to kind of assist you on this journey. So what is absolutely essential is for you to recognize the fact that you have that determination to become an entrepreneur, and you have a certain skills in yourself. You feel this talent is there, this skill is there, the desire is, the determination is there. So that's the first starting point. And you must realize that you can't do everything by yourself. In today's modern world, that's what I say, self-employment person, he can do everything by himself. We could see very self-employed entrepreneurs also there sometimes. But, an entrepreneur who is going on a long journey to meet the needs of a society in a grand scale and a scalable business and a sustainable business and a commercial viable entity, he needs to recognize there are certain things that he knows, certain things he has, certain things he doesn't have. So that's where he needs to recognize fast, or he should have the humility to understand these skills I don't have, these areas of things which I need from externally. And no sooner you recognize that, you look for partners, you look for collaborators. And that's what it is important. I think one of the failures, what I see in the Sri Lankan businesses and entrepreneurs is they are not willing to get some external partner for their business, even for investment or for otherwise, even for distribution. They are trying to do everything by themselves. They are trying to do marketing by themselves. They are trying to do distribution by themselves. They are trying to get the capital by themselves. They are everything. So they basically waste themselves. Their energy drives out because all of their energy goes for that. So I think what you should first of all realize what you are good at, what is your best skill, and that is where you should spend more of your time. You must spend more of your time on that, your capability, and then something which you cannot do, somebody else is doing that well. If some other entity or some other partner can distribute your product well, why do you want to spend money on in expanding a distributor network? Why somebody can market it for you? Why do you want to spend that marketing? So that's where, it's very important that you really look at that opportunity for partnerships. And when you look at that, then it is really good for you to plan out very well in this journey, because the more you look at the partnerships, opportunities for you, what you cannot do, and there is somebody else who can do this for you, that's the way that a successful businessman or entrepreneur begin to plan out his journey.
Chandra, do you have any examples that you would say are best practices for creating those partnerships and collaborations and being successful? Chandra, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think I lost the connection for my.
Oh, you're fine. You're quite clear to us.
Can you see me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Fine.
So, what I was just repeat that question, because there was some screen, something went wrong in the screen.
Oh, I just said, do you have any examples of companies that we can benchmark as best practices for collaborating successfully, creating those partnerships with others?
So what the examples are, there are plenty of, I would say there was an entrepreneur we had, which we invested in. He make the dry vegetables, dry fruits and vegetables, and he needed somebody to get his product to supermarkets. And that's where he sought our help to get his product, because he did not have. He's only good at producing that. And we helped him to get that product into the supermarket chains. So so he need to partner with that, so that he eliminate that opportunity for that, and then he moves towards
Oh, I think we've Chandala seems to have. Chandala, are you still there, or we just turned your video? Sorry, everyone, we might be facing some technical issues. Oh, he's back.
Right.
He's back.
Okay. Sorry about it. So,
okay.
as I said, that this particular entrepreneur needed, he was good at producing this thing, and he needed a distribution of his product to the supermarket chains. And we came on board, and currently now most of his products are in the supermarket chains, because we came and took that responsibility. And he's called Dry Sea, it's dry fruit. And it's there because of he doesn't have to get involved in finding a supermarket chain to put his product to distribution.
Yeah, I think that's great partnerships being made. Okay, now moving on to another topic, still in the same umbrella though. I think something that I feel is a common barrier that is faced by a lot of companies and businesses, whether at an infant stage or whether it's established or part of a large corporation. I think the main thing that a lot of people ask is about the word money. Now, where is the investment coming from? Where is your capital? You know, but we look at it now, getting your capital, is that, and your human, your human resources and skill set sorted and in check. Is that what can sustain and help a business? Especially now, given the problem with the effects of the COVID-19 and the lack of funds, is having the right skill set within your business the better thing to do, or is it mainly, no, you need to still get your investment?
No, I think first of all, if you want to go on this journey of entrepreneur and you feel this is my journey, this thing, you must be very much, as I said, this is a marathon, this is a long journey. There are risk involved. There are kind of challenges there. So once you have that conviction properly assessed and you are determined to do that, then you need to really look at what you have, not what you don't have. First, you look at what you have. The problem with another challenge of some of the Sri Lankan entrepreneurs is they always look at what you don't have. They look at, I don't have capital, I don't have this. They first task is, I remember even Felicia said that she started in a very small way. Everyone started in a small way. So what happens is, as I said, even the Steve Jobs and Bill Gates started this global conglomerate in a garage, in their home, in their garage, in a small way. So what happens is they had a garage. That's what they had. They had a garage in their home that they had. They did not try to look at some factory, some place, somewhere else, but they look at the garage they had. So what we need to look at is whether it's capital, what amount of money I have, what I have saved, what I have with my own, what are my skills. And based on that, if some people have appreciated what you can do, and those are goodwill that you have created, that is what you have. So first of all, you need to take a countdown of what you have. And when you take a countdown of what you have, you see there's substantial resources you yourself have to take the first step. You have to take the first step. You can't get somebody else to take the first step for you. You are the entrepreneur. You have to start. You have to expand your business. So the first step has to be taken by you and by your strength, not by somebody else's strength. You need to have your own strength, and the first step has to be taken by you. If you can't take a step by step, you can even attempt inch by inch approach. So you have to start. So you look at your resources. And one of the critical challenges for the Sri Lankan entrepreneurs is, I have seen, I've been in the banking industry for almost 35 years. One of the critical challenges in Sri Lanka is we don't have, unlike other countries, a capital market available for micro, small and medium level entrepreneurs. What we have is in this country for last 8 years is availability of debt capital, which is very high price. So what happens is, other than the family and friends, what we call 3F, family, friends and fools, who will give money for you to start somebody else only a fool give his money to you, rather your business. So but your family and friends sometimes give. But what happens is, in this country, we don't have access to private equity for micro and small and medium level entrepreneurs. That's what we have done. We have created that platform when we created that power project. Now, that is very important to Sri Lankan entrepreneurs to have access to private equity. So once you have your own capital resource assets, then you look at capital is one aspect. Whether it's equity capital or debt capital, I think if you're going to start a business with a bank loans or capital, you are going to really take an initial risk, because the bank loans are pretty high and very expensive. So therefore, as much as possible, you must look at your resources and try to get a partner. Again, I see Sri Lankan entrepreneurs are very reluctant to get an external person to come and take a stake in your business, whether it's 10% or 15% or whatever the percentage. They are very reluctant to get outside party to it. So that's very important, to get somebody to infuse capital to you. Then there are certain things that you, as I said earlier, that you cannot do everything by yourself. So you need to have partnership for distribution, for marketing, even the product process improvements. All these things, you need various skills which you don't have. What you don't have, you need to get access to that. The affordable access, it's available in the marketplace. So many things, talent is available, human resources are available, equipments are there. So straight away, you are not going to buy the biggest equipment that you need. No, you will buy the equipment that is needed to serve that particular market that you are going to do as a first stage, first step. What happens is sometimes some entrepreneurs go and buy the biggest equipment or the biggest machinery, and then he's stuck with it. So you need to find for the first stage what you require, the capital you require, the equipment you require, the skillful employees you require, and any other distribution network or the marketing partnership you require. So once you get that, you have already mapped out your resources that you need to have. And once you get those resources around you, then you need to really plan out, as I said, the stages and the ages and the pages of your entrepreneur journey. First, you need to recognize that the first step, I said, the birth. Then you need to crawl. You can't try to walk when you're crawling. You need to recognize that. Once you crawl and move to the next stage, you can walk. Your business has to take the next steps to walk. So don't try to fly your business straight away. That's what a lot of people want to do. They want to make $1 million tomorrow. You can't do that. They want to kind of like, a lot of young people, techies, they want to really, since there is so many techies earning money, they want to really see that kind of thing. I think that's where sometimes we make a mistake. So that's why we need to really make sure. Sometimes it happens, but more often you need to map out your journey. As I said, the stages, ages, and the pages, crawling, walking, running, and flying. And then you see how many people strengthening you. And then finally you can blossom your business to a conglomerate, and then even, who knows, a multi-billion-dollar company later.
Chandala, I feel like people should take these words of wisdom, write them down and blow it up and put it on their wall, because they really are words of wisdom. I am going to move into some questions that we've got from the audience, Chandala.
Yeah.
So let's just take those one by one now. Okay, we have one question that says, there seems to be some confusion between a financial infusion from a bank to an investment. Can you tell us the difference and why an investment is better than a loan?
Yeah. So if you are a startup business, or if you are very early stage, it's always good to take a equity investment as an equity partner, because there is no cost to that capital. When a person invests in your business, he is not going to ask you to repay that loan monthly with the interest. So there is no interest payment. So what he will have is, as a partner, business partner, as an equity partner, what he's entitled is, if you make profit at the end of the year, annual, he will have the opportunity to share that profit with you, whatever amount that you're going to retain for the business, and the rest you're going to distribute. He has access to that. If you make losses, he will have to face the consequence of the losses. So basically, there is no cost to that capital. And also, he's not there behind you, okay, pay me monthly, that kind of pressure is not there. Apart from that, he has an interest for your business. He wants to strengthen the business. He wants to kind of bring his ideas also to the business. When compared to a bank loan, when you go to a bank, bank will ask a security, and you give the security, they give the loan. And you have to prepay your loan monthly. Whether business fails or success, you have to prepay the loan with the interest. And the bank will not come and tell you how to do your business. I will help you, strengthen you. He will. Bank will be only worried, or a finance company only worried, getting their repayment back with interest. So you are under pressure to pay the monthly installment, as whether it's a 2-year loan, 3-year loan, 5-year loan. You have to pay the capital as well as interest. So you are under pressure for that. So that's where it is important that private equity at an early stage or a startup stage, it's important that you have access to opportunity to get investment for your company. And that is why I said Sri Lanka. I mean, you look at Bill Gates and Stephen Jobs. Even any business that is there, WhatsApp, Uber, Airbnb, all these guys, they started not with bank loans. There is a huge line of investors in America. They take the risk, and even Facebook, all this what we have today is somebody has invested equity, and that's why they are blossoming. And in this country, we need to have that kind of investors line up to take, and also the entrepreneurs also should welcome them as a partner, and because they are also taking a risk, they are putting their capital, their private money into this, they are taking risk. So that's where it's important that cordial. It's like a marriage. It's a partnership.
Yeah, true. I think to anyone in the audience, if you have a great idea, pitch it to Chandula. This is what these webinars are there for. This is what we are here for, to create this marriage, to create this interactive partnership.
Yeah, so I just want to add to that. Actually, now we asked the question about the private equity. So in Sri Lanka, we did not have this. But when we introduced at Power like Shark Tanks and Dragons, then we first time created in the country access to private equity for micro, small and medium level entrepreneurs from a group of highly successful businessmen putting their own money. And today that platform is there. And today we can give that opportunity for any entrepreneur, young opportunity to pitch their idea or their enterprise. If it is business scalability is there, commercial viability there, we are willing to look at it, and we are willing to take investment. We don't want to take 60%, but our maximum investment is 40% because we want entrepreneur to take the full ownership of that business. We will go only up to about 40%, but we would like to invest 5%, 10%, whatever it is, and as bring that partnership. But not only us, but there are many investors in Sri Lanka as well as overseas, Sri Lankans overseas, who are willing to invest in the successful budding entrepreneurs with their equity. Not only investment plus, as I said, the other skills, distribution network skill, marketing skill, product processing help, processing assistant, and things like that.
I think it's very noble. One, it's very noble. Two, I think any of the entrepreneurs who have pitched and have have you as a backing is fantastic. It's great. Okay, next question. We have, is it wise enough to invest in something new during a pandemic situation?
Can you repeat that question again?
So Imesha has asked us, is it wise enough to invest in something new during a pandemic situation?
I think whether you have a pandemic is no pandemic, any situation brings enormous challenges and risks. That's always there. Challenges and risks are always there, whether you have a pandemic or not. But I would say in a crisis like that, there will be more opportunities. What happens is the opportunities are different. The shape and the size of the opportunities are different time to time based on the challenges. This kind of challenges, even in the pandemic like this, there are new dimensions are open, new opportunities are open, but we are willing to look at if we have some sort of idea only, this is the way it should be done, then it may not be there for you to work on. But if you are willing to look at a different shape, different size, and the opportunities are always there, and you need to also look at that you are going to take that risk. And not only take the risk, but you have the skills, wherewithal, the strength and the stamina to overcome that challenge and move on that direction. And then you bring the support mechanism around you. So that's where it's always when you see the opportunity, whether it's wise or not foolish, it's about when you see the opportunity, if you have the skill, if you have the courage of your conviction, if you can manage the risk, go for it at any time.
Good. Imesh, I hope that answered your question. Okay, we have Sitira who has sent his one. When we start a business, first, what do we need to do? Do we need to identify the market needs of our capabilities and talents, or is it to identify a market and gather the talent or partners according to the idea?
See, and as I explained to you, the entrepreneurship is a journey, and there are stages and ages and pages, as I said. So First task is that you need to be passionate to understand a consumer somewhere that is needing some of your assistance, or a society's a need or requirement, a problem that you see in the society, or need that you see in the society, a demand that you see. You need to firstly assess that and see that, and then once you see the what you call the market assessment, see the potential market, and then you see that whether you are the right person, have that skill. If you may not have all the skills, but once you have that skill, you have some sort of skill, you see the problem, you identify the problem, you feel that you have a passion to resolve this problem. And when you have that, then you really put that thought or the idea into testing. You test this idea, whether that idea, this solution that you have, resolve that problem or that demand, that consumer requirement. And then you see that idea can have the strength to walk, what I call the commercial viability. The commercial viability, a business sustainability, and the scalability. You need to reach the scale, then only you can, what happens is, any business, once you don't reach the scale, you naturally die that business. Business collapse or finishes off. So you need to have the scalability. So that's the starting point is that. Starting point is assessing the problem that you're going to resolve in the consumer marketplace, and then your skills, your capabilities, and then the skill ability for you to harness other partnerships. Do you have something, as I said, you have some capital with yourself, you have the skills, you have other things, and what you don't have, then you begin to acquire them. You acquire them in a process that is affordable to them. You understand? That's very important. If it is not affordable, then don't acquire. You have to find it way that how affordable for me to acquire these resources, whether it's capital, whether it's skilled employees, whether it's equipment, all those things you need to really, there are different resources available. Highly skilled people are there, marginally skills are there, so all kinds of skill level people are there for different prices, equipment also there. So once you do that, then you map out and test it. So what happens is, what we call, any businessman, you need to pilot it. We need to do a pilot run. You just don't do the whole thing, put everything and start a very big business. That's what I say. It's early the birth, then the crawl. So you pilot it, and then you get the feedback of your product. People will say this is taste is good, it do look very nice, and things like that. That feedback you get from immediate 100 or 10 customers, and based on that you do further refinement of your product, and then you get somebody else, and many people will support. That's how you need to get going.
Okay, we have 8 minutes left. So let me try and fit in as many questions as we can. Chandala, I'm going to ask actually a question from my own question for you. So going back to the women entrepreneurs that are rising in this whole entrepreneur field, what do you understand have been some barriers in the Sri Lankan market for them, and how do you suggest women in Sri Lanka overcome these barriers?
And first and foremost, I must tell you that women are more in advantage position to become an entrepreneur because they are very empathetic. They understand the consumers more than anybody else. They are very empathetic, and that's emotional engagement is there. Therefore, they can really feel the pain, feel the need very much than I'm not saying that men doesn't, but there is a tendency that they would see the picture much more emotionally with empathetically. So that's the first part. Then what happens is, then there is a kind of taboo kind of thing. Women can't do it. They can't go to the field. They can't do this, that, and all. But today, that a woman can get the partnerships that are needed. There are plenty of partnership opportunities available. So once that determination is there, there are a number of successful women entrepreneurs. Again, the problem with what I see sometimes women entrepreneurs doesn't blossom is because they don't want to take major risk. They also try to make limitation for themselves. They say, okay, I'm only a housewife. I have to look after my children, and therefore they restrict themselves by virtue of their time availability, by virtue of the other responsibility they had to fulfill, and they put various barriers and restrictions, which will, I would say, most of the barriers are put by themselves by virtue of the time availability and their alignment of various other key responsibilities with regard to the household initiatives. So once that is fully managed, then I think they are very good at understanding the need and a solution requirement. Then they need to move towards the product refinement and designing. And sometimes they need to really get the assistance of others who can really help them in the product design, refinement, and then also product positioning into the marketplace. And thereby, and also, I mean, getting the capital. And sometimes, so once that is done, because there are plenty of successful women entrepreneurs globally and even in this country. And we have Felicia herself, who has started this BConnected in 23 years ago. So that itself is a very clear indication how a woman has succeeded. And I see one of the things actually, I mean, I was so touched by when Felicia said that when she saw so many employees losing their job, then that's one of the reasons that she started actually, that helped us to look at this sort of thing. And that's where I see that women see that problem much more than men. And that itself is a great resource. And once that is, then they can get partnership and the right partnership. In fact, this webinar itself, Vilisha, getting that partnership itself is a testimony how a woman can go in the long journey, bringing partnership with her resources.
I agree, Chandler. Thank you. Okay, we have last 2 minutes, so we will take one more question. Chandler, with so much negativity, in the whole business industry at the moment, what do you have any advice for the future business people on how to navigate this post-COVID-19 landscape?
There are new opportunities. As I said, if you are willing to look at the shape and the size, and if you're also willing to change and have the humility to kind of look at the things that you can do and opportunities for that, there are plenty of new opportunities coming as a result of the COVID-19 in the area of healthcare, prevention of sicknesses, and then taking care of the sick people. There are a lot of business solutions that are now really needed, and there are opportunities in that area. Then in the area of education, now there are a lot of people who would require education in a different way, because there is standard typical academic type of education is what really not the solution. You need to reskill yourself, upskill some of you, and there is an opportunity for in the area of education for to become entrepreneur and provide those solutions. Then also in the lifestyle, people's lifestyles are going to change. There are new lifestyles. What we are going to wear, how we are going to wear, what we are going to do, these things are also going to change. And based on that lifestyle, there are certain new businesses are emerging. And then also in the area of the food, the things that we are going to consume, the agriculture area, the commercial agriculture, and all these areas, there are so much of opportunities are coming in different shapes and sizes. And if you keep your ears to the ground and eyes wide open, then you see that opportunity in all around you in diverse ways, and you need to grab them and to become an entrepreneur. And that's why we are there to support you.
Perfect. Chandler, I think that was a very good question to wrap up on. We thank you all for joining. We thank a huge thank you to Chandler for giving us his time, and more importantly, giving us such bounds of wisdom that he's imparted on not just you, but I think even for me, just listening to everything he's been saying. As I said earlier, if we didn't get to a question you've asked or you have a thought from after listening to Chandler later on, please come and approach us via email, or you can access Chandler directly through his contact details. You'll soon see a slide with all the details at the end, so please save it, screenshot it, because if you want to get in touch, then that's how. We really appreciate all the questions you've been asking, myself and Chandler, and we're definitely seeing some budding entrepreneurs with exciting futures in the audience today. This is our first.
I also want to tell very clearly that together with BConnected, we are willing to kind of support you and partner you and collaborate you in the event you need investment or any other partnership, any other areas, if you decide to start your business and expand your business.
Yes, exactly. This was our first event, so we appreciate you taking the time. But we also hope to continue this series of webinars and have more insights and more navigation tips, because this COVID-19 landscape is new to all of us, and we've been thrust into it, and we only can come out on the right side of it. So please don't see this webinar as a one-sided thing. This is very interactive. Please think of it as exactly as Chandler said, the marriage between your idea and all of us. We're here on the same journey as you. We want to grow together. So please think of partnering, think of linking, think of the collaboration, and we are happy to be there with you. So this is not one-sided. This is for you to grow and help you. So thank you, Chandler. Thank you for joining us. And have a lovely rest of your afternoon.
All the best.